Seymour. The articles on Philip Seymour describe him as, if not the best, one of the best actors of our time, and God knows for how long. He's described as this amazing talent. And so he flew too close to the sun. That's that myth of Icarus. It's the myth of Odysseus and the island of the Sirens, where you have the Sirens are these powerful women warriors. Sometimes they're maybe shown in movies as mermaids. And they sing this amazing music. They play this amazing music that is so seductive, that here are these hardened mariners going past the island. They have to go. They have to go and see, what is this music about? Who are these women that are making this music? This must be ecstatic. This must be ecstasy. And they go to the island and they crack up on the rocks. And the women do them in. It says in the Odyssey, it picks their bones clean. Nasty business, getting cracked up on the rocks. What Odysseus did is he had himself tied to the mast of his ship. And his oarsmen had their ears plugged, so they didn't hear the music. That might be the equivalent of somehow having an experience, but being so grounded that it doesn't sweep you away. Reminds me of the initiation of the Eleusinians. It's a tribe several thousand years ago. I think they were a sect of among the Greeks. Eleusinians maybe preceded the Greeks. And they had a ritual which involved the taking of a psychedelic, I guess mushroom, a compound, for young men, one time, as they entered their adulthood. Let's say late adolescence, early teens, maybe early adulthood. And this was an initiation into the mysteries, they said, the Eleusinian mysteries. They only got to do it one time. The idea was to introduce them into another experience of the nature of reality under the influence of psychedelics. But they only got it one time. On the rare occasion, I believe someone was recognized as a priest. And so they might pursue a path inside the priesthood where they got to listen to the music, right? But they were tied to the mast of the priesthood. So the advice the young man is getting is coming from that place that's saying, don't fly too high, don't fly too low. We're concerned for you. Take the safe path. Don't take the road less traveled. I happen to believe that success in our culture today requires the willingness to pursue your own vision and follow an inner voice where that takes you, as long as it's toward life. As long as that inner voice is guiding you toward life. If your inner voice is saying, I got to try heroin, that's not toward life. That's not your inner voice. It's an important distinction to be able to make between the voices of your friends and the voices of your enemies. So, we spoke about the program, got to talk about our 19-year-old young man. I wish him the best. I think he should follow his vision, but tie his own camel, take responsibility. By following his vision to work, he should follow his creative impulses and his curiosity and keep that part of his psyche alive that is curiosity, that is creative expression at the same time. And at some point, he'll get the clarity of a direction. He's young. He's still young in our culture. And we talked with Lomax about what can we do in the cities of Chicago. The tragedy of that, terrible. What a loss. Talked about what does it take to create change. I'm the change agent. I'm reading the book, The Power of Habit. And so it talks about what does it take to make a new habit. And I identified some of those components. It takes the vision of what you want to create. It takes the confidence, I can do that. For me, I added, you need a method. You want to have a way of approaching it. And then you want the willpower to follow through. Unless there's somebody else who wants to ask a question, I think we can say the sun is setting here in California for the evening. And have a moment of change time, which we like to do at the end of each session we have with each other. So I'm going to ask you to think about, let's change it a little bit. Think about a situation in which if you were going to get angry and you were going to, and your anger was going to get agitated in the next week, what is the most likely situation for you to experience that in? Who are you going to be with that you're going to get pissed off at? Think about it for a moment. And then when you have it, think about the likely outcome. So he's going to say this, and I'm going to say that, or she's going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and this is what's going to happen. Think about the likely outcome. Okay. Now I'm going to give you an option of doing something else. I want you to imagine that the next time you're in that situation, you identify to yourself, okay, I'm getting angry. I don't want to do that again. I'm going to take a breath like right now. Inhale, 2, 3, pause, 3 heartbeats. Exhale, 2, 3, pause, 3 heartbeats. Take a breath and leave. Just imagine yourself doing that. Here you are in the situation that you think is the most likely one to evoke your anger, but you're going to tell yourself, I don't want to do that. You're going to tell yourself, I'm getting angry right now. Nothing positive is going to happen if I open my mouth and take a breath and leave. And see what happens in that situation. See if you can begin to change your behavior. See if you can begin to develop a new habit. So, on that note, I've enjoyed my time with you. I hope the feeling is mutual. And I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you all again for listening to Shrink Different with Doc Wolf on TFOK Radio. Doc will be returning next Monday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great week.